After finishing Lab 5.1, you'll notice you have a DB movie database on your system. If you expand this DB movie database to see what tables it has, you'll notice there are no tables in this database. It's a brand new database with no user-defined objects. What we're going to do is create a new table called TBL Movie. We'll have a movie ID field, a movie title field, and a movie runtime field. So we're going to create 3 fields in our new table. Right-click Tables and select New Table. The first field will be m_id for movie ID, and that will be an integer. We will not allow nulls. The next will be m_title, and that will be a variable length field of up to 30 characters, and that will also be not null. And the last is a runtime. Is it 90 minutes long, 85 minutes long, 110 minutes long? We're going to put m_runtime, and we will make that an integer. And we will allow that to be null. So we're going to go ahead and let them enter a movie into the database before they know the exact runtime. We're going to click Save, call it TBL Movie, and click OK. We're going to close out of here, and you'll notice you have a TBL Movie on your system. If you run a quick DML statement, like a select statement, execute, you'll see a table that is not populated. Let's recreate this one table and its 3 fields by using SQL code. First off, let's get rid of the existing table, right-click and choose Delete. Open a new query window and type Use DB Movie and then type Go. This ensures our context is set to the DB Movie database. So our next statement creates an object in that database. We're going to type Create Table TBL Movie, followed by a set of parentheses. Now inside this set of parentheses, you will need to list every field you want. You can have anywhere from 1 to 1,024 fields. Each field must be separated by a comma so SQL Server knows the beginning of one field from the ending of another. If you have 2 fields, you'll have 1 comma. If you have 3 fields, you'll need to separate them with 2 commas. Put a comma after every field except the last one. So the first field will be m_id, and that will be an integer, and I'm going to specify primary key. That just means if I have a movie 1, and I want to enter a second movie, that can't also have an ID of 1. Now I'm going to enter m_title, which will be a variable length of characters with a length of up to 30. And we're going to specify not null. Each row must have a value for this field. We could have specified not null up here, but primary keys enforce not nulls as it is. Finally, we will have a runtime, which is an integer. And remember not to put a comma after the last field like I almost did, although SQL Server can forgive you sometimes when you do that. Now what we're going to do is look at our table with a select star from TBL Movie. You may ask why you don't see a go between the table statement and the select statement. The reason is go separates DDL statements and is not used by DML statements. Hit execute and you see you have a table with 3 fields, but no data populating it. Lab 5.2, Skill Check 1. Write a script to create the TBL Movie table in the DB Movie database in 5 batches. Remember, batches are separated with the word go. The first batch will use the master database, the second will drop the DB Movie database, only if it exists. The third batch will create the DB Movie database. The fourth batch will set the database context to the new DB Movie database just created. It should not matter if your system has the DB Movie database, since your batches will take care of dropping and recreating the databases if they exist. Your TBL Movie table should have the following 4 fields. When you're done, your screen should resemble the figure you see here. Skill Check 2. Write a script to create the TBL card table in the DB card database in 5 batches. The first batch uses master, the second will drop the database if it exists, The third will create the database, the fourth uses the database, and the fifth one creates the table. When you're done, your screen should resemble the figure you see here. Well, that wraps up Lab 5.2 on creating tables. Next up, Lab 6.1, inserting data.